I think the initial Brexit chapter, Brexit era, is over. It begins in the 1990s and accelerates this century. It culminates obviously with the Brexit referendum, but now we're seeing that Brexit has become a kind of monster, swallowed up all those liars and bad politicians, Farage, Johnson, Truss, Theresa May, David Cameron, spat them out. And on the left, I mean, Jeremy Corbyn, that era, it's all over. You've got two rather cautious adults in the room now, in the sense of Rishi Sunak and Sir Keir Starmer. Now, they're going to have to start working on what Britain does to start possibly to stop the decline that we can all physically see as we go around the country. It's not about rejoining, it's not about making Brexit work, which is an empty slogan, but a new era is beginning, and the question is, what do the economic actors of Britain who paid for Brexit, a city who are seeing New York eating their lunch, others who paid and financed the Brexit campaign, what do they do, and how, if there's a new government, presumably under Labour, what do they do? So that's it. I mean, the history books will say it came to an end probably when Liz Truss, crashed and burned. She was never a Brexiter. I knew her quite well when she was in the House of Commons. But they don't. I always say about Boris Johnson, he doesn't tell lies, but he's completely uninterested in truth. That era is over, and more people are now saying we are in a mess, how do we get out of it? That's a very significant political and economic moment, I think, for Britain as a whole.
And what are you writing about right now, Dennis?
I myself am writing a lot in the foreign media. I think we have to start learning more from Europe. I patrol European capitals. I don't have much access to British media. Oddly enough, I'm invited onto the new right-wing TV and radio stations, GB News, just as a token lefty, token pro-European. I love it because programs like Today and so on are completely, banned to people like me. But that debate's starting. I'm on the executive committee of the Labour Movement for Europe, which is a very interesting new outfit. It's the fastest growing membership organisation within the Labour Party. It's affiliated officially to the Labour Party. It's not some anti-leadership or anything. A lot of the people we're proposing to be selected as parliamentary candidates are winning selection. So if there's a change of government, I think there'll be a new, younger generation of Labour MPs who, as I say, it's not instant, nostalgic, emotional rejoin, but we made such a stunning mess in Labour out of Brexit since 2015. We've got to start thinking much harder about what our relationship with Europe will be, and that's the big challenge for me intellectually, politically, over the next period.
And finally, if you had one piece of advice for Rishi Sunak to help him, what would it be?
Just ignore the DUP, ignore the ERG. It's incredible how we've learned this. Weird chap Steve Baker said he spent the last 7 years as a champion of Brexit having a permanent nervous breakdown. It's an honest interview I've heard in my life. I mean, basically, if you invested in Brexit, you find you've got no return for that investment. They're all switching from promoting Brexit now to being anti-historic lockdown, ranting about the pandemic and the lockdowns and how the scientists and medical specialists dealt with it. These are cults now. It's Trump in America, it's a Johnson cult here. Farage is completely, I think, out of the picture. And let's just see what a new generation of more adult, more interesting, more reflective political people come, and they'll have to find some way of re-engaging with Europe without sort of going down the emotional, which I completely understood. I've got a rejoined t-shirt, I love it. It ain't going to happen in my lifetime.